Right, so I'm going to correct 26 and 28, right? So I'll do it right here. Question 26. If you have to find f of minus 2, you will use this piece when x is greater than minus 1, right? So that'll be x being, actually no, I said the wrong thing, right? F of minus 2, you'll use this piece. When x is less than minus 1, you'll have minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, all the way to minus infinity, right? So you have to use this piece here. So we use f of x being minus 3x here. So you'll get minus 3 by minus 2 giving you 6, right? So that's the answer for f of minus 2. For f of minus 1, you would see f of minus 1 being 0. So there's nothing to work out really. You use a second piece, right? And for f of minus, actually for f of 0 now, that's what we have to work out. X is greater than minus 1 means what? X will be 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on, right? So with that being said, you have to use the third piece. For f of 0, use your third piece. That's f of x is equal to 2x squared plus 1. So you'll get f of 0 being what? 2 by 0 squared plus 1, which gives you 0 plus 1, which is just 1, and you're finished. Right, so that's the answer for 26. Check it over, see if you have any questions before we move on. So now we're going to use 28. Now we're going to do 28. So to find f of minus 1, we have to use, this is when x lies between minus 2 and 1. So the values of x here will be minus 2, minus 1, 0, right? So you have to use the first piece for e. So you'll get f of minus 1 being minus 1 cubed, which is minus 1, right? For part B now, you want to find f of 0. So again, you use the first piece, right? You'll get 0 cubed, which is 0. To C, f of 1 now, we see we have the inclusive part of 1 here. So the values of x for this piece is going to be 1, 2, 3, and 4. So f of 1 is going to be 3 by 1 plus 2, which is 5. And for D, to find f of 3, you're going to use the second piece as well. You'll have 3 by 3 plus 2. That's 6 and 2 is 8. Right? Did you all get these things? Any questions?
Sir, 3 by 3 is not 6.
Okay, my mistake. Sorry about that. 3 3 is on 9 and 2 is 11.
Yeah.
Right, I just got a little, I wasn't thinking, there's some students who can't get into Zoom for this part of the session. I can't see why. I'm trying to help them on WhatsApp.
So I could look at.
Just give me a second. I'm trying to help Sharissa get in. All right, so any questions with this part of piecewise functions? No questions?
No, sir.
Everybody's okay with this part?
Excuse me, will it ever have a case where X might fall in two of the same ranges, or does that not happen?
No, in piecewise functions, that never happens.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. You'll have no overlapping, right? So you don't have to worry about that. Right, so we have to do the second part of piecewise functions now, which is the part with worded problems, right? So look at your screen, everybody. I want you to pay very close attention to this piece, right? This piece is regarded as the more technical piece, right? However, I find the topic is very easy, right? So I hope you guys agree after we finish discussing it. So let's start. So piecewise functions, one of the applications in the real world is in computing utility bills, right? Electricity bills, gas bills, phone bills, things like that. Piecewise functions are used, right? There's not anyone, I don't think there's anyone that would sit behind a desk and work all these things by hand. These things are written into computer programs, right? So that it's just generated. The bill is just generated. But the point I'm getting at is that piecewise functions is the underlying method of generating the bill, right? So let's go through an example. In the summer of 2009, Duke Energy supplied electricity to residents of Ohio for a monthly customer charge of $4.50. Now, this is a fixed cost, as you all could see here, plus 4.2345 cents. Now, this is not $4, This is 4 cents with some decimal points attached per kilowatt hour. So now, for every 1 kilowatt hour you burn, you're paying $4.2345 for the first 1,000 kilowatt hours supplied in the month. So if you burn anything from 0 to 1,000, you have to pay what? The fixed charge, and then you're paying $4.2345 per kilowatt hour. But once you go above 1,000, look at it. 5.3622 cents, so it's 5 cents per kilowatt hour for all usage over 1,000 in the month. So if you burn more than 1,000, you're paying a higher rate, as you all could see, right? So let's start working it out. What's the charge for using 300 kilowatt hours in a month? So I'm going to work it out here. So your charge for 300 kilowatt hour, right? You guys follow one and let me know if you all have questions, right? You must pay your fixed rate, which is $4.50. Whether you use any current or not, you have to pay that fixed rate, right? I know locally in those who have landline telephones, regardless if you use your phone or not, you have to pay a rental fee, right? So in a similar way, if you use it or not, you have to pay that $4.50. Plus, you must, well, you use 300. 300 falls in the first 1,000, between 0 and 1,000. So you're paying the lower rate for that, which is 4. How do you write 4 cents? You write it like this, 0.04. But it's not only 4 cents, exact is what? 4.2345, right? So this is 4 cents. All right, so you just take a calculator, you work out this, and you'll get the bill. Look, it's here. They worked it out for us. They got $17.20. So you're paying $17.20 for your electricity usage. For part B now, what's the charge for using 1,500? So you have to be careful with this one. You have to pay what? Your fixed charge, $4.50. Then For the first 1,000, take out the first 1,000 and pay it at the cheaper rate. That's what the question says. Up to the first 1,000, you're paying $4.2345. So you're paying 4 cents for the first 1,000 per kilowatt hour. And then how much did you burn? 1,500. So how much over 1,000 you have? You have to take 1,500 and minus 1,000. That would be what? 500 over. Right? So you're paying 500 kilowatt hour at the higher rate. So let's write that down. So 500 kilowatt hour at the higher rate, which is 5 cents now, 0.053622. Right? And all you do here, guys, you just take a calculator and you just work out this as well. All right? And you get what? 73.66. And that's your bill. There's a last part of the question now. And this part, for some reason, gives students problems. I can't see why. All right. So look at part C. It's very easy. Yeah? It doesn't give all students problems. I mean, usually I'll give you my opinion on marking a question like this. Piecewise questions, usually average mark is 100% in exam, right? Students use this to bring up their marks, right? Students tend to like piecewise questions. So part C, if C is the monthly charge for X kilowatt hours, right? So this time you're burning X, develop a model relating the monthly charge and the kilowatt hours used. That is expressed C as a function of X. So now they want me to write, or they want us to write a function, right? So let's write the function. I'll write it here. So the charge C of X, you're burning X this time, takes 2 parts. It's a piecewise function. One, the first part, if you burn anywhere from 0 to 1,000, right? And you have to pay what? For a bill that you burn 0 to 1,000, what must you pay? You must pay, well, you have to pay $4.50 plus, you remember you're burning X, you'll be paying at the lower rate. What's the lower rate? 4 cents. 4.2345. And that's the first piece of the function, right? Any questions with that? Take a minute, see if you understand how I got that before we do the second piece. If no questions, let's move to the second piece. So how are you going to pay for the second piece now? What's the second piece? That's if you burn more than 1,000 kilowatt hours. How will you going to pay this bill if you burn more than 1,000? Again, you have to pay $4.50 plus you have to pay for the first 1,000 at the lower rate, 0.042345. Right, so you take out the first 1,000, pay it at the lower rate, and then you take anything over 1,000. How do you get what is over 1,000? You have to subtract 1,000, and that's how you all got 500 here. 1,500 take away 1,000. That's how you got 500. So that's why I'm minusing 1,000. And how you're paying this? You're paying anything over 1,000 at the higher rate, 53622. Right, and that's it. That's a piecewise function. Once you write it like this, the cost is this if X lies between 0 and 1,000, and then the cost is this if X is more than 1,000, you're finished. There's nothing left to do. Right, so that was the piecewise functions question. Are there any questions? Anybody is confused? So here's what I want you all to do, right? You all have this textbook now, or after class you will have it when you download it. You all could go through the chapter again and let me know if you all have any issues, questions, problems, etc. Now you go to Math 117 assignment, right? Look at this. Look at the screen. Right, everybody look at the screen. So in the screen here, the page you're looking at, there is one question, right? Let me see if it's one. Okay. Right, so here's what I want you all to do. Look, everybody, pay close attention. I don't want you to do the wrong thing, right? So if you look at the screen, you would see question 1 having part A and B to F, right? Now I am omitting parts B to part F, right? You see parts B to part F here. I will upload an edited version, right? Omit these parts. Don't do parts B to F, just do part E. Right, so I have to make a couple changes here and re-upload it. And in part A, you're not finding f of minus 5, it's f of minus 2. That was a typo there. All right, so this is supposed to be f of minus 2. So question 1, you just have part A here, and then you have part B here, right? Which is similar to what we just did. You have your service charge for your first 1,000 over 1,000, you're paying this, and then you answering these 3 parts, right? So the only change I made to the question, I took out parts B to F here, and instead of minus 5, I said it's minus 2, right? Today is the 29th. I'll give you until the 12th to do this, to submit this to me. All right, submit this via email on by the 12th. You could do it today and submit it for that matter if you want to get it out to the week. All right, so this is your first quiz. Now, if you're wondering where's my email address and all of that, look, it's here. All right, in eClassroom, everybody has my contact information on eClassroom here, right? You have College Algebra Zoom link. Let me see if you have my lecture information.
So I just want to be correct, right? So part 1, B to F, we're not doing that, and we're changing minus 5 to minus 2, right?
Yes, that's all. I'll make the changes and I will repost the assignment, as well as I will put it in the WhatsApp group as well. And the due date, the deadline date rather, is on the 12th. Right, that's the deadline date. So you could submit it to me today, tomorrow, you have until the 12th.
Most likely to be tomorrow.
Okay, so that's it for today, guys. That's the end of our session. Right, so we are complete. We've completed piecewise functions. Next week, we will be doing even and odd functions.
Excuse me, sir, by chance next week, right? So in topic 3, where you discuss functions for the first time, it has an exercise sheet with the answers attached. By chance, would you be going over that next week if we have any questions?
Of course. So let me look at it now. There's an exercise sheet with answers.
Yeah, I think it's Math 117 practice.
Okay, let me see.
Okay, no, then it's functions 1.
Okay. Okay, yeah, of course, Donnell. We'll go through this next week.
No, so sorry. It's probably the last PDF then. But yeah, I would like to go over that as well. It
You
was
are-
the PDF was like the 1 year.
This one?
Yeah, if by chance next week you'd be going over some of the answers.
Okay, no, this has plenty questions that are by far more technical than what you all need to do. So in this page, Donnell and everybody else, you just have to be able to do questions like I would say question 3, question 4, question 7, things like that, right? 3, 4, and 7. Those are good examples for like your assessments.
Okay, thanks. Sir.
3, 4, and 7.
Okay, so thanks.
Yeah, so this has by far more technical. We're not going to be doing things like this. This course is too basic to be doing some of these questions here. All right, so are there any other questions? All right, if not, that's it for today, guys. You all be well. I'll see you next week, and bye guys. Bye for now.
Bye, sir.
Yeah.
Bye, sir.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, sir.
Yes, sir.
Bye, sir.